Hi there, TaffyRue here, and welcome to another exciting episode of Features by TaffyRue, where we get to put the spotlight on young, upcoming artists and creatives who are bubbling under. So my guest for today goes by the name Leon Mwana Joze. And we got to know Leon way before the award, the big stages, and even before he actually started to use the stage name Leon Mwana Joze. In fact, he's one of the very first artists that Mass and I actually welcomed into our home, and we walked with him for a little bit. From Bring It On 2017 up till now, we have been watching him grow, get amazing opportunities, and continue to make great music. I'm so excited to get to have this conversation, and I'm so excited for you to get to know him. Leon, welcome.
Hi, Taffy. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. This is long overdue. I think I've been meaning or wanting to have this conversation for a bit, so I'm actually very happy that you managed to come through.
And I'm happy to be here as well.
Awesome. So obviously, I have known you for a number of years now, but for those people who don't know who you are, maybe you can start by telling us who is Leon Mwana Joze. Is that your real name? Who is Leon?
Okay, Leon Mwana Joze is a gospel hip hop artist, a rapper, a father of two, a husband of one. My real name is Leon Takutswa Mtembeza. And I grew up in Guruwe. I was born here in Harare.
Okay.
Grew up in Guruwe. I started doing music at 15, when I was 15.
Okay.
That's when I started rapping. I've been doing music since 2006. I've been doing music since 2006. And I was part of Bring It On 2017.
Yes. When you started rapping, were you still in Guruwe?
Yeah, I started rapping when I was in Guruwe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hip hop.
It's funny. What happened is there was a small studio there.
Okay.
The days of Chamembe, Chugutiro, what. There's this guy called TaffyRue Anything. Shout out to him. TaffyRue Anything, he had a small studio and he used to invite those urban group guys.
Okay.
He was so close to one Maskiri and TBA. So I once passed by his place and saw him making an instrumental, and I also wanted to get a CD from him. And then he said to me, with the way that you are talking, I can easily tell that you are a music person. And then I didn't really know what to do back then.
Yeah.
And then he told me to go behind the curtain where there was a microphone. And then he said, I'm going to play this instrumental. You can sing whatever that you feel like singing.
Okay.
And then I sang almost everything that was in my head. I was rapping nonstop. And then I don't know, he was capturing the audio. Then he said, do you want to hear what you were singing about?
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, I would love to hear what I was singing about. Fortunately, he managed to put that song on a CD. And then I gave the CD to some of my friends. It rotated from one house to another.
Yeah.
But back then, I didn't know how the structure of a song. It was just one non-stop rap from end to end. That's how I started.
Okay, that's amazing. Okay. And Kogzo Leon Mwana Joze, where did that come from?
You remember Bring It On 2017?
Yes, I do.
Mas is also Leon.
Yeah.
I am Leon. So to keep confusion, Mas then said, there's only one Leon in this
He was like,
I'm the only Leon in here. So we need to create a distinction. And the other thing, there was also another Leon. You told me of another Leon. It must be Leon Moyo.
Okay.
He's also a gospel hip hop artist. Now majoring in pop, if I'm not mistaken. So he said that so many Leons in the industry. So if you call yourself Leon, then there's going to be confusion.
How do you differentiate
How
yourself?
are you going to distinguish? How are we going to distinguish you from the
Yeah.
other rappers? And then he said, since you're performing this song called WaJoze, we should just call you WaJoze. And coincidentally, my father's name is Joseph.
Interesting.
And my little brother is Joseph Jr. So the WaJoze part from the song also goes in sync with my father's name.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my intention to be.
So when you're writing WaJoze, the song, were you not thinking that, it was not linked to your father's name?
It
just happened?
It wasn't even. I think God made it happen. God did it all. When I first played that song to my family members, like my siblings, at first I thought it's a song about me breaking to be my father's son.
Yeah.
When it was actually opposite. When the verses then, when they listened to the verses, that's when they realized, it's actually a whole different story.
Yeah.
So Leon Mwana Joze, I was given the name by Mas. He's the one who named me Leon Mwana Joze.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
The name has stuck with me, and so many people just call me Leon Mwana Joze. Some simply say Mwana Joze, some say WaJoze, but the name has stuck with me, and I love it.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so why hip hop? Why do you feel like, why did you end up like rapping when you got the first opportunity to do a track? Had you heard someone doing hip hop, or what happened there?
I grew up in an environment where hip hop was played a lot.
Okay.
My late sister Evelyn, she always listened to much of secular hip hop back then. She loved female rappers, the likes of EVE, Da Brat. Those are the artists that she was listening to. So me being close to her, I always wanted to hear the kind of music that she was listening to, and I found it so interesting. I was also into poetry as a young kid. So upon hearing the music that she was listening to, I would mimic the music, putting my own words, so that I could rap with ease. So from listening to the music, I grew an interest in writing and rapping as well. But as I grew, I realized that the music that I was supposed to do, it had to be music with a purpose, music that has a meaning. So I started writing music like gospel, hip hop, but I didn't really have artists that I knew locally who were doing gospel hip hop. I was just doing those songs for me and my small circle of friends. The only opportunity that I got back then was when a new guy moved to Gurue. He was a professional producer. His name is Father Kelly. I think that's the real name, Father Kelly. He gave us an instrumental. And then it was towards an Easter conference at church. Back then I was at Sayoja Forward in Faith, Gurue. So when I heard that instrumental for the very first time, I had gospel lyrics coming into my head. I didn't take too long. And then I had a friend of mine who was our local pastor's son. His name is Emmanuel. He used to sing very well in our praise and worship team. And then I approached him and said, "Brah, I have this song that I wrote. I know you have never heard anything about hip hop or R&B, but I think your voice will suit on the chorus of this song." And then we rehearsed for a day. The next day we went to the studio and recorded our very first song. It's called Kubvira Ndiri Mudiki. And then upon recording that song, we were told to perform it in church. And the response was amazing. And for the very first time, I felt like I had found my purpose. That is the first time that I realized that God had actually created me to become a gospel hip hop artist. But I also don't want to limit myself to be called a hip hop artist only. There are times that I do songs that are full of melody. I later realized that I could sing at a later age.
Are you able to sing, Leon?
Yeah, I can. Do you know?
I've never heard you sing. All this time that I've known you, I've never heard you sing.
Do you know? I did the chorus for Set Me Free on my own.
Really?
I did it all on my own. And lately, much of my hooks, I'm doing them on my own.
Oh, really?
And I have quite a lot of music that is unreleased, to which I did my own hooks. There's this song called Msad Mapezaneni. No raps. I was
You're just singing?
Just singing from the start to the end.
Okay. I look forward to hearing that song.
Yeah, I'll definitely send it to you. I'll definitely send it to you.
Okay.
Also, I think I can do Afro pop as well.
Okay.
Afro pop. And what other genre? I think I would like to call myself a musician.
You're versatile. You can do
all genres.
Okay.
In as far as it is gospel. But I'm more inclined to hip hop because that's where I started from.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how has your journey been? So you talked about the time that you were in Guruwe. How did you move to Harare, and how have you been doing music all this time?
Yeah, I started in Guruwe, but then upon finishing my O levels, my mom realized that I had this great desire for music, this great passion for music, but she was scared that I would concentrate more on music and forsake my academics.
Yeah.
So she said, I'm not going to allow you to pursue music fully until you finish your education. So I had to go to college. I did a degree in marketing with Midland State University. So when I was at college, she forbade me from doing any music.
Okay.
She said, I'm going to support you as soon as you finish your studies.
Yeah.
So upon finishing my degree, she gave me like some money to record my second gospel song.
Nice.
And prayed for me. She said, I'm now giving you the blessing to go out and do what you feel like. Also make sure that you make music that impact people and bring them to Christ. So that's when we did our second song. Funny enough, I did it with my friend, that pastor's son, Emmanuel Masodzi. We did Komborera. It was a prayer for Zimbabwe. After college, I moved to Bulawayo. In Bulawayo, that's when I met up with Crazy. I also got to link up with other guys like Luminas.
Okay.
And then I moved to Harare. When I moved to Harare, I didn't really know quite a lot of artists. The only artist that I had seen on TV was Wisu.
Okay.
He was the only artist that I knew, and I had to DM him on Facebook. And fortunate enough, I expected him to treat me like with this celebrity attitude, but he was down to earth. And he said, where are you? Where are you living? And I told him I stay in Glenview. And he said, bruh, I stay in Glenview as well.
Okay.
So he's one of the guys whom I met early, and I was working on a song. Though I didn't get to release that song, Wisu gave me my first free verse. I called him. It was just a call, and he said, when do you want to record the song? And we got to link up. I took him to the studio. He recorded with ease, and he said, continue doing what you're doing. And from Wisu, I also met Ernest Kedrick.
Okay.
Kedrick from C4J. Kedrick,
Yes.
the one who used to perform na Anisu. They were doing a cross-culture show, and I had been told by somebody that they are gospel artists, but I didn't want to tell him that I was a rapper, because back then I thought I didn't know much and I needed to learn from others before I venture into gospel hip-hop fully. And the other thing that I was also scared of was getting famous and getting to be known. I always wanted to do my music alone,
Yes.
away from the other guys, just being me.
Yeah.
And then met Ernest. He told me, we have a show. If you are the guy Wisu told me about, then you need to get yourself a slot on the event. He gave me two tickets and said, you should come through. But some fear crept into my heart and decided, should I go and perform there? I was skeptical about it because it was going to be my first time performing at a bigger stage. To them it was a smaller stage, but to me it was
huge.
It was huge, and I was like, what if I stammer or stutter whilst I'm on stage? And then decided not to go.
Okay.
And he was very mad at me for not attending that
Yeah.
show. But then he kept on making follow-ups and asked me where I stayed. And I realized that he was staying nearby as well. So he used to visit and encouraging me. He's one of the guys who taught me stage work,
Okay.
Ernest. He used to come to my place. We would rehearse at my place when I wasn't going to work back then. So they made Wisu Kedrick made it easy for me to be part of CHH. And Wisu is this group that has been surviving for the longest, the CHH group, called Heavenly Outbreak. He added me into the group. That's when I got to know the other artists who were doing gospel hip hop.
So how did you find out about Bring It On? Because both these artists you're talking about have been to Bring It On.
Kedrick. Kedrick always made sure that I stay informed. He always made sure that he passed me any opportunity that came his way. He also wanted me to be a part of it. So when Kedrick auditioned for Bring It On and won Bring It On, he then informed me there is this platform that nurtures gospel artists who are still young. And when he just said that, I said to him, I want to be a part of it. So it was through Kedrick that I got to know of Bring It On. And it was something that was so amazing. I remember when you said auditions are there are auditions that are happening over the weekend. I was very ready, like I'm going to a very big show. I came very much excited.
Yes.
And when I got to the venue, I saw you guys in the room, and you told me, you should do your thing. Let's see what you're here to show us. I was very, very, very happy getting to do that WaJoze song.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And I can safely say the greatest knowledge pertaining the music industry, like my foundation, I got it from Bring It On. That's why you always see me even when I post stuff pertaining Bring It On, and when you post even stuff that concerns me in regards to Bring It On, I always say Bring It On is home.
Yeah.
Bring It On is home.
It's home.
And I'm always encouraging other artists and other young creatives to come through.
Yeah.
I think last year the guy who came to Bring It On doing spoken word, who won? It's I'm trying to figure.
It was I Am Tino.
Yeah,
Yes.
I told him about Bring It On.
Okay.
I told
and
him.
He came all the way from Gweru to.
I sent him, and I'm really happy that he came through and won.
Yeah.
It's something that we want for many upcoming creatives to use their talents in the kingdom of
Definitely.
God, so that they'll find a purpose. They won't get to waste their lives and talents.
Yeah.
So to anybody who's going to be watching this podcast, if you were talented, make sure that you sign up for Bring It On 2026, because the auditions for 2025 are closed.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's amazing. It's quite interesting to hear you tell your story like this. I think there are parts of it that I didn't know. So it was quite interesting to know that you actually worked with Whistle and Kedrick for quite a bit, and they also impacted you in your life. It goes to show that we are not isolated. We are not islands.
Yeah.
We actually need other people to work with us, to encourage us in doing what we'll be doing at that particular moment in time. Okay, so you've talked about how you started music and what you've been doing so far. Maybe you can tell us some of your biggest accomplishments. What do you think you have accomplished as a Christian hip hop artist?
I always measure achievements with the impact that I make in the lives of many. It's not the accolades, it's not the stages, it's how the people respond to the music.
Yeah.
I think having people come with testimonies pertaining to the songs that they have heard, the songs that I've done, is probably the greatest achievement. I've had people come out and telling me that there are songs that have made a huge impact to their lives. There is a Zim dancer artist by the name Sekem Tema. I didn't know that he is a dancer artist, a well-known dancer artist. He bumped into one of my songs, Ndozi Ripo.
Okay.
I remember he told me that he was in a situation to which he lost quite a lot of money, thousands of dollars, and that song kept him going.
Wow.
It made him accept what was on the ground. And there is another guy who had set me free, searched for my numbers, called me and said, brah, that song has spoken to me.
Yeah.
It has spoken to me lengths. And I'm really grateful that that song has managed to make such impact in my life. And I'm praying that I'll be able to overcome all these addictions that I'm facing as an individual. And I said to him, the Lord will give you strength, my brother. And ever since, we've been brothers. And I remember when we did Mawana Ningatanga, there were quite a lot of responses from people saying, this song is actually a reminder that we need to continue constantly checking on our lives, so that when the Maker returns, we will be in a good position to face him. I remember even one of our managers at my former place, Mr. Chavarika, for the very first time, he texted me and said, that song is a song well done. That was the first time. I think I would see him every day at work, but he had never spoken to me pertaining
to your music.
Pertaining to my music. It was work. But for the very first time. So when I see such responses, and when I see people being moved by the music towards the Lord and towards repentance, I feel like that's when I see achievement. So I can't say I've had the biggest as yet, because I'm still working.
Yes.
So every person that comes to the Lord via the music, I thank God for you guys. It's actually something that makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. It actually motivates me to continue working more in the kingdom.
Yeah. I definitely remember when I heard Mawan Aninga Tanga. Yeah, it definitely made me think, am I ready for for Jesus to come right now, you know? And I remember playing it for Mass, and he was like, why do you like this song so much? Because I literally played it a number of times because I needed the reminder. Because I think, in life we get carried away.
Yeah, we easily get carried away.
Chagamari, working, busy looking after family and all of those things. Life keeps you busy, right? But you need that reminder. And that song, Mawana Ningatanga, is a very good reminder to constantly checking yourself. Just constantly check yourself. Are you mbudzi or are you white? It's a powerful song. It's definitely a powerful song. But obviously, you've achieved quite, a lot according to the standards of this world, obviously. I mean, a lot of rappers look up to you, Christian hip-hop rappers. I remember we worked with someone for a bit, and he was like, Leon Mwana just in Amazon. And I think it was around about the time that you won at the Zim Hip Hop Awards, and you were getting a platform to perform on circular platforms.
Yeah.
How has that journey been? I can't imagine having a platform in a circular environment, and you are a Christian.
Yeah.
Can you share, how was that experience for you?
Yeah. All I can say is it's a jungle out there. But in as far as it's a jungle, there's great need for us to also occupy those spaces and make sure that we bring light in those spaces.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of resistance in the secular platforms as a Christian creative. everything that you be seeing probably might be discouraging if you are weak. I've always reminded my brothers that whenever they go in those places, they need to make sure that they pray a lot. They need to make sure that they do not get carried away, because there are quite a lot of things that will be happening there. I've noticed when I performed at Shoko Festival, it was quite difficult for me. Maybe it was because I was used to an environment to which I'll be surrounded by believers. But then it was a situation to which I was faced with people some who are drinking, some who are smoking, some who are saying you are good, but at the same time they are holding their beers and stuff. So it was a good opportunity. And the other platform to which I performed, which was a secular platform, was the Zim Hip Hop Awards. I thought you were there. You realize how the environment was.
Yeah.
And one other environment platform was, what's the name of this place? I'm trying to figure out. We went there to do the Heavenly Outbreak launch for this compilation album that we did as a group. And the most interesting part, we had our own space, but behind us there was a bar, a beer hall. So when we did our songs, the other guys were just looking at us in some funny way, but we thank God that the other guys who were listening to the music, like concentrating at what we were doing. There's another guy who said, I don't really think that the music that you were doing is gospel until I heard you guys do your thing. So it's a 50-50 situation. It's either you go there expecting people to listen to you, and you be faced with quite a lot of situations. I've heard one of my little brothers complaining about these secular events. I think lately, who performed at a secular event? It must be Jason. He was also speaking of the same challenges that I faced back then. And then we discussed about it in the group, and we've always told each other to be mindful of the audience to which we are going to be performing for, or the audience to which we are going to be ministering for. Because the objective of those other artists and our objectives, they are totally different.
Yeah.
And the audience that goes to those events probably have different objectives as well.
Yeah.
Some are just going to
have a good time.
Some are just going there to waste their lives away. So if the Lord wills and if the Spirit walks with you, at some point in time you make a huge impact. You come with a great harvest. But there are other platforms to which I have said to myself, I'll never be there. I'll never be there.
Okay.
Because I've gone there once, twice, thrice, and I've realized from the treatment that we get, considering the content that we make and the type of music that we make, the treatment, the audience, and the stuff that will be happening in within the platforms, you realize that no matter how much I'm trying here, these people are not interested. This is not an environment to which they are willing to listen to the stuff that
But what if God says go there? Mwita say.
Yeah, I know.
Because that's where the harvest is, huh?
But at some point in time, I also feel like when God wants to reach out to someone, you always create an environment that is conducive for salvation. And you always make sure that that one person that he wants to take out of such an environment, he speaks to that person, and I know in a position because it will be very difficult for a person ari kutotora drugs in your presence, concentrate with what you are doing. We've been in environments to which you find yourself, people smoking stuff that is prohibited, people drinking drinks that are not even good to their health. People taking stuff that will literally damage them and remove their soberness. So you are trying to convey a message to somebody who is not even aware of the environment to which he is. A person that tiri kupi and try to minister to that person. I feel like it's also killer the drive to minister. You can be in front of vanhu like in an environment yatiri vanhu vari kurova mutoriro vasi kutomboziva what they are doing. I think kuvatsaimira vasati vabatwa nezvinhu izvozvo vasati vasvika panhingiri, or even kana vari trapped in those substances before they take them, because I've noticed kuti kunzwisisana chaiko chaiko, even when you are talking to them dzimwe nguva nyaya dzinangani. You are talking about this, the next second yakutotaura zvinhu nasvika pana vamira rutautaura naye, the next minute atomuvha. So I do feel like there is need for us to pray for platforms that will enable, not kuti church setups, even our outdoor performances, pangava panze, like outreaches, where we'll be just performing our music. Chero munhu achipfuura, he will get to hear the music, maybe ari sober or as ari panzvimbo pekuti anokwanisa kuconcentrate.
Yeah. I guess you're right. I guess there is definitely some truth to that, you might go into a place where you want to minister, but because the person is not in the proper headspace, they aren't able to probably grasp what you're trying to say. So then it might seem pointless. Yeah. But how do you feel? So for me, there's a time when I got the opportunity to perform at a club. And I remember there was this one person who was like, Taffy, how come you are going to perform at a club? What were you doing there? And I mean, they were generally concerned. But for me, I felt like it was definitely an outreach for me, because the circumstances in which I was there, I had done Dreamstar, but back then it was still Zimbabwe's Talent. And then they were having a Christmas party at this particular club. And it was filled with different Chinese people, lots of Chinese people. They had come to this particular club. They were there just to enjoy, and we were just entertainment. And for me, it was definitely an outreach moment, because I got to talk about Jesus in this particular space, because they were coming to Christmas in Zimbabwe. We are Christians, and we know that Jesus is the reason for the season. And so I got to talk about Jesus while singing, What is your take when it comes to Christians performing in secular environments? So obviously you've done it before. Have you faced any backlash? What has your experience been with Christians seeing the things that you're doing in secular platforms?
Yeah, I would love to say something that might seem controversial, but our community, so many people are judgmental, especially when you find yourself in spaces where there are more secular artists than believers. This has actually created much more of a vacuum to which even gospel hip hop artists, they seem as if they've got some stunted growth. There are even other platforms that are not even gospel, that are secular per se, to which you can go and perform, and you find yourself surrounded by a sober crowd and audience. But our people, like the brethren, some of them are very judgmental.
Yeah,
I've heard somebody that I used to work with from way back. After I bring it on, there was somebody that I used to work with, We used to do tours together. We used to do shows together, and wherever I would go, she would also come with me. But then, when I performed at Shoko Festival and then the other shows that followed, she then said, because you are now going in these spaces, I don't think we are going to work together again. And then I tried to explain to her, but it was very difficult for her to understand. She went on to say, I know that you are going to get to a point to which you are going to get worn out, and then you are going to come back to your senses and leave those spaces. Personally, I've been judged for such, but if we go back into the Bible, you realize that our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, he used to even dine with non-believers. The story of Zacchaeus, the story of that woman who wiped his feet with tears and poured an ointment on his feet. For me as a young artist back then, it was me thinking that I'm doing the right thing, trying to bring the gospel to anybody that I come across. Whether I get a platform, it's church, it's a talent show, it's a school. But the backlash was way too much, to a point that I said to myself, I need to recheck, to do a self introspection to check if I'm still doing the right thing or I'm lost. So I took a break. I took quite some time not doing music, and then I had to come back doing that Grateful EP. It was during that time that I faced such backlash, and considering the advent of social media, people always come up with so many stories without understanding the context of what will be happening. So when you are seen in spaces that are full of artists that are not godly, people will start saying, he's now being equally yoked with the ungodly. So it was a tough time for me.
Yeah.
But I learned from it, and it doesn't mean that I'm not going to share the gospel with people that are not gospel artists. It doesn't mean that I'm going to ignore those spaces. If I'm invited to perform at an event that is more like a secular, maybe it might be events like youth groups and stuff. I really understand that whoever is organizing that event is an understanding of my background. They've done a research of the kind of music that I do, and I'm pretty much sure that they are doing so with an intention that I will impact the word of God and I leave the name of the Lord in that place. So at some point in time, I don't think it's good to judge people. You do not know what the Lord is trying to do in such a space. So if you say I'm not going there because the person that is hosting that event is not a believer, or you've heard stuff about that person, it actually kills the drive, like the motive to why we are doing this thing. We are not doing this music for us, even though it ministers to us at most. There are quite a lot of people that are yet to know about Jesus out there. So if we keep the gospel centralized on us believers who are already saved, then who's going to save the people that are out there?
Exactly.
So we need to make sure that if an opportunity comes, let's say one of us is invited to perform at the Grammys or the BET awards, we shouldn't look at them with a funny face and come up with some stories that are funny. Let's make sure that we support them and pray for them.
Exactly.
Make sure that whenever they need support, we are right behind them, so that whatever that they'll be doing will be done perfectly for the glory of the Lord.
For the glory of God, definitely. Do you think that Christian hip hop has any hope?
Yeah. If there was no hope, I wouldn't be doing it, and I wouldn't be encouraging others.
You wouldn't be doing it, yeah.
There is quite a challenge that we are facing as Christian hip hop artists. I understand. Hip hop wise, like hip hop in its totality, there's some people that think gospel hip hop is like the Paralympic side of hip hop. They, they,
I saw that analogy. The
yeah,
Paralympics.
yeah, like honestly,
Yeah.
there is too much slander on us. To a point that if you're not wise enough, your ego will push you towards doing stuff that is. I for instance, I once got myself into such a trap to a point that I ended up doing music that wasn't totally CHH. It was more like lukewarm, and I had to
Conscious.
yeah,
Sort
like
of.
yeah, it was lukewarm. Although the project was received very well, I think yeah, it was a necessity, but the intentions behind doing that project were not good, and I repented of that situation. People tend to think that people who are doing Christian hip hop are rappers that are not good enough to compete in the secular world. And so when there are events that are hosted, they would rather have a secular artist swearing and singing all kind of stuff that is ungodly than to have a Christian artist. They think that we do not rap good enough. They think that we are scared of what's happening in the world. But to be honest, I can safely say the brothers that are doing Christian hip hop are very much good enough to go bar for bar with those in the secular way, and they can go bar for bar with my brothers doing gospel hip hop, and those guys are doing whatever that they are doing in their area. I do believe if you check, for instance, Prophecy, Courtney, when Courtney was still very much active in the music industry, you realize that he was doing tours with Lakwe. He did tours with Bizu and is it KB when he came to SA. But if you are to check all the secular artists that are within Zimbabwe, none of them has ever had a tour with an international artist. And if we are to check performances on stage, you realize that Shabak the band, in as much as they are now popular, the artist that they were playing for the most was Prophecy, a gospel hip hop artist, and he was doing very well with the band. The other artists had to start hiring Shabak the band, but much people thought that band was Prophecy's band.
Okay.
So our craft, I do believe it has some space to which we are supposed to occupy fully within the music industry. Though there are quite a lot of challenges in terms of visibility, marketing, sponsorship, Christian hip hop is way much alive. There is a crop of artists that is coming that are rising. The Jasons, Gwanzuras, Tech Mullahs, NKs, Michael Kalizi, AMB, Swayze, Takudzwa Joel, a lot of young brothers that are coming up. I'm very much sure that the crop of artists that are coming after us are going to make a very huge impact, and they're going to make music that will have crossover effect. Because currently our music is sort of like very limited to a small audience. Maybe it's due to the fact that the artists are the managers, we do our own PR, we do almost everything on our own. Only a few of us have managed to have people open in and helping us in making the music. For instance, myself, I've managed to get some assistance from Rayo Beats, and I was also teaming up with Richard Nguru of Richland Media. Even though we're no longer working together, we managed to create a team. That is something that we are teaching younger generation to create teams that they'll be working with, such that the work won't be too much for you.
Yeah.
Because doing it everything on your own is quite difficult.
It
and
is.
I do believe the other guys that are older than me, the likes of Red I Am, Prophecy, Courtney, they're still playing a very huge role in making sure that this industry, like this ministry as CHH, continues to rise. I know there have been a question, kuti kune kuri kuendwa here, or you guys are just circulating on the very same place. But if you are to check from 2020, 2021, 2022, there's been a shift in CHH. So many people are now interested in doing CHH. There are quite a lot of movements. There are quite a lot of young adults that are doing Christian hip hop currently. I think what has actually made the brothers and sisters to reboot is the response that has been happening to contemporary gospel music out there. Even the secular artists are coming at the gospel side. We have our Baba Harares, our Cleos, they've all devoted their lives to Christ, and they're now focusing on doing gospel music. The Tanto Wavies. So there is a reason why those guys are leaving secular hip hop. I feel like they know that the real thing is the gospel, the gospel side. So for Christian hip hop artists, I think it's a wake up call as well. To put enough craft, to be consistent, and to make sure that we do our work with perfection. We are the head, not the tail. So it won't be interesting to see much of our Christian hip hop brothers putting out lukewarm projects, putting out half-baked projects. I've been trying my level best to encourage brothers to put out more visuals and also make use of social media. I would like to give a thumbs up to Jason Kwanzura. Currently, he is doing very well with Instagram and his socials. He has managed to actually use social media to his advantage and to make sure that the gospel goes out there. So yeah, there is great hope for gospel hip hop. You see, as the year ends, that there are going to be a lot of big projects that are going to drop. Some that will blow your mind out.
For me, I don't doubt that there is some really good music from Christian hip hop artists. For me, like you mentioned briefly earlier, is the marketing aspect of it, the consistency aspect of it, and the social media aspect of it. I feel like that's where Christian hip hop is lacking. We might have a great product. Something that I've experienced is that we do have a great product and we have a great message, but not enough people have access to it, or not enough people know that this exists. This exists in terms of the music, in terms of the visuals and everything like that. So that I don't doubt that the music is there. But for me, I'd love to see consistency coming in on the part of the Christian hip hop artists, the visuals like you're mentioning, just the marketing aspect of what you guys are doing, because you definitely do have the message and you do have the product, but marketing.
The marketing aspect for real. The marketing aspect has been a mammoth task for us. Personally, I've realized that the challenge that I have is mainly on striking balance, because everything that concerns marketing of my music, I have to do it all by myself.
Yes.
Of which also I have to worry about budgets of the videos. I also have to worry about the production side. I also have to check on my work schedules, like my employment side. I have the kids on the other side.
Yes, you've got everything.
Wifey needs a time.
So many things, yeah.
So I think within the community, there is a great need for other brothers and sisters to tap into the marketing aspect of the ministry of the music, such that the burden won't weigh heavy on us as artists. Because all we want to do is minister and minister and minister, and there should be a team out there making sure that the content goes to the people and the people get to easily access the music. Because currently, pakashata.
Yeah, but I mean, what if the team doesn't come? And I think even when we're doing it as individuals, I feel like as a Christian community, we are not pushing our brothers and sisters enough. I feel like we are selfish. I think I had this conversation with the Reaper when he came through, that I feel like, it's each man for himself.
Yeah.
In the industry, where you are pushing yourself, you're pushing your music, but you're not, checking in on your brothers and sisters who are also releasing music, and they're equally as good, but we're just, inward focused rather than pulling each other up in love.
Yeah, that's very true. That's the reason why we ended up coming up with 808 on Jesus. Initially, that was what we spoke, narrator him. I said to the brother, you see, the challenge that we have is we have a diverse kind of gifts amongst ourselves. A lot of skill set other than music. But if we do not put our hands together, if we do not have our hands on deck, it's going to be a very difficult journey, a very painful one for each and every one of us. What if we put our ideas on the table and try to come up with something that will make sure that we push together as a unit? If one of us drops a song, maybe we post a link on Twitter, why can't we go and retweet? Why can't we go and comment? Why can't we share it? Because what I've noticed, even with Twitter, if you manage to get maybe 50 retweets, that post has gone viral. And I was asking the brother Scotty, how many of us are in here? And we managed to realize that there are about 30-something artists within the group. So if somebody posts a song or a link, and all of us, I don't like a post here, booster, literally.
Yeah.
And
the comment, and share. Yeah.
And considering these algorithms, a man in green, enough a creator interest in the post, and that post notanga ku share easily. They become more exposed to that. So this idea, each man for himself, I shan't. It won't work. It won't even take us anywhere. So I'm seeing the brothers showing love bit by bit. It doesn't it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much sure that by showing each other love, that way we can easily grow. That way we can easily make it out there.
Yeah.
Because love conquers everything, and the Lord made sure that the greatest commandment is love.
Yeah.
And without love, we are just empty, like empty bells that will be ringing.
Yeah.
So I'm very much sure that is one point we are supposed to take note of as Christian hip hop artists. We must make sure that we continue pulling each other up, collaborating, sharing ideas, and even writing songs for each other and correcting each other. I've noticed that at some point in time, this is directed to Christian hip hop artists.
Yeah.
At some point in time, we need to make sure that we package our product perfectly, and we make sure that our music is very good. And when we do our music the right way, perfect it, make it sound good, make it sound nice, it won't be difficult even for the next artist to share your music. So, so we must be intentional in whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
not like doing it for the sake ngoti tiri kungoita.
Kungoita.
Because music, because it's gospel, it doesn't mean it has to be boring, it has to be not so interesting. We need to make sure that we pray for God's guidance. In personally, when I'm writing at some point in time, there are times that I realize that I'm writing the music, but this music is not hitting enough. I pray, Lord, I haven't done a song that is more impactful. I need that song now. I need that song. And I've seen the Lord being faithful much of the times whenever I need a song that makes impact. And he's so faithful. He's so faithful. He will give you the right message for the right time and the right sound and the right instrumental for the song, and you do it with ease because you'll be involving the Lord in your process of creating.
Right. Interesting. You've shared a lot of lessons. I don't even need to ask you what lessons you've learned because you were mentioning it as you were going. But we've come to the time in the podcast where we get to switch roles, and you get to ask me a question or two. So I don't know if you have any questions for me.
Okay. I've seen how you've been doing your music, and there are quite a lot of things that I've been appreciating, and I've been copying from what you're doing. Like I've always wanted to ask like how your creative process is like when you are writing, from writing and coming up with those small visuals, those small snippets. How
interesting. I've had this question being asked in one way or another in terms of my creative process. Honestly, it differs. It's been changing over the number of years that I've been doing it. Recently, I've been getting the music and then I write to it, because I feel like thinking about lyrics and things like that has not been easy, because, you know, when you are living with other people, they're always different. People also singing and having their own melodies and all of those things. So I like it when I get an instrumental and I, you know, listen to it and I try and see what the feeling of the instrumental is and all of that. That's the creation of the music, and it usually happens months or weeks, not weeks, months or even years before the actual release. That means I'm not consistent in releasing music. But yes, then after that, it's a process of then coming up with a release plan. Looking at, you know, different content that I can create for me to be able to release the song. So what I usually do, or what I did, let me use maybe Hold On as an example. Because I had some time between 2022 when I released He Knows and Hold On, I actually started planning for the release of Hold On, I think November the year before. So I decided on a content plan that I was going to maybe run a series in like 2 months before release. I'm going to have music, I'm going to do the music video. And while I was doing the music video, I also had the artwork. So I had footage for the artwork, I had footage for the music video. Then I started using those snippets as we were building towards the release. I thought about the theme, and every piece of content was going back to that theme of holding on until the end. And then I started releasing it bit by bit and building towards that, and then I finally released the song. But it's a lot of work. I failed to do the same process for the following songs, but what happened is when you build momentum for that one particular song, that momentum kind of continues until like even after the release of the song, and it helps you with the release of the other songs, as long as you can just keep up with the constant release of content on social media. Yeah.
Okay. And collaborations. What does it take for? What do you check when you intend to collaborate with somebody? Let's say, for instance, I want to collaborate with you.
Yes.
What are the key things that you check?
I've noticed that a lot of people waruchikira kuri when it comes to collaborations. Let me tell you that. That's one thing that I've noticed. But I did do it. One, like, I don't demand a lot. What I do demand is commitment. I've worked with a lot of hip hop artists before. Like, before I took a break in music, I worked with a lot of hip hop artists. And, you'd work on a project and they release the thing and that's it. Like, there's no, build up before, there's no pushing after. And it's just a waste of good music, So right now, I just want to avoid that. I really want to make sure that everything I do put in the effort to write something and to think about and, invest in, it has to come out. So commitment, basically. And just, teamwork, a collaboration, sitting together, thinking, okay, how are we going to release this song? How are we going to push it after? And if somebody can just show me that commitment, I think collaboration is important.
Okay, and for collaborate, what do you prefer? What do you prefer more, writing on your own, or would you sing on a song that was written for somebody, or actually I have this song, can you do this hook for me, or you prefer writing it on your own?
So with hooks, I prefer writing them on my own. I've never tried singing what another person has written. I don't think it would work for me. I don't think it would work. I would, because I want to have, some sort of, I can't say ownership as such, but like share my story as well. That goes in line with whatever the person is singing about, right? So yeah, I prefer writing on my own. It might depend in terms of how we write it, how I get to write the song by the parts that I'm singing by myself. But yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That's all that I wanted. That's all that I wanted to know.
All right. So before we close, maybe you could share with us one testimony of where God has brought victory in your life.
Okay. I think 2021, I found myself in a situation that nearly took my life. I got infected with COVID-19. I was sick of COVID-19. So what happened is I was home alone, and then I fell sick whilst I was alone. And I had nobody to call on to. So the tenants at our home left the house as soon as they had I had contracted COVID. They were scared of dying because my lines where the people were dying. You hear this couple has died of COVID, and yeah, I was with COVID. So my days are tatanzi unonogara uri wega. You don't mingle nevanhu, so I was alone. Wifey akavharirwa vari kumasvingo ne-lockdown, because lockdown yakaitwa while she was in masvingo kwana moms. So I was all alone. Ndaida kubuda mumba because I couldn't breathe. I couldn't walk, mba ndadonha pasi, ndatanga kukambaira pafloor. To a point yekuti I couldn't crawl. But ndangorara nedumbu. Fortunately enough, my little brother, Joseph, akangouya achibva kuYada Hotel because he used to play for Yada. Anga atongouyawo kumba kungoti arese, only to find me ndakarara pasi. And dai pakanonoko ne some minutes I could have died probably. But then God came through for me, and my little brother had to make some calls kuwane kubasa and stuff. I remember kuti ndakazotakurwa unconscious, ne-ambulance yakauya, took me to a private hospital yange iri eConnect neStewart Bank kuruwa. only to wake up and deliver oxygen tank. The nurse that attended me said to me, the first question that she asked me, I can't unaenda church kupi, and I told her of my church, and she said, Mwara nokuda, God loves you a lot. Waramba ushenda church, because dai pango it would delay a bit, you would have died. And for sure, I'm really grateful for that. And when I survived COVID, I said to the Lord, since Manipa second chance, I'm not going to waste this chance that I've got. I'm going to use my life as I was using it for your glory. But this time I'm going to double the effort. What I was doing, I was concentrating on dreaming, but I'm going to use much of my time for your glory. So if you listen to Grateful, that EP that we did with Reobis, there's a song called Pakaoma. I was actually narrating the whole ordeal of what happened when I got sick of COVID. So I remember even the people that are with Muntatwad Tirukurua, there's some other person who died. And the other person, actually 2 people died, Muad. And you're in a ward, four. 2 of the people died. It was scary. I was very much scared. And I think ndopakabva zvese zvana mahwana anenge atanga and stuff, because I was reflecting. Wabva unogeza nemunhu, the next minute ari kukosora, and wakutoona maketens akutovharwa, utonzwa the person is no more. God gave me the biggest victory, Pablo. I could have died, and if I had died that time, I don't think kuti panga pakandinakira, because when those things happen, like when you are in a situation like a near-death experience, unoita maflashes, like zvinhu zvawakaita zvanga zviri wrong, zvinoflash within your face. And I remember kuti I had such a moment pandakadonha nedumbu ndichitadzoningira pandakazotorwa neambulance and stuff. And ever since that day, I'm always reminded kuti, in as much as we are living, this life that we are living is very much temporary. Terikupfuura. And as we are living this life, we need to make sure that ukama wedu naMwari, we are in good books. You are using your life for the right things. You are living for the Lord. And zuva rimwe nerimwe rawawana kumuka uri mupenyu, it's an opportunity for you to repent. There are quite a lot of things zvatosangana nazvo mupenyu. Nepatinofamba, and it's easy nowadays kungoerekana watongotadza. And it's a good thing kuti as the day starts, as the day ends, you confess your sins. You make sure kuti you repent of all the wrong things that you have done. Kuitira kuti when the Lord comes, unenge uri paningireni. I'm not trying to scare people as such. Nenyaya kuti anogona kugoya usiri ready, but living your life perfectly, zvinhu zvakangokosha. Hazvisi pakuti uri kuita out of fear, but doing good is always good. When you're doing good, you're doing it for you, and you're doing it for those that are around you, and you're doing it for the Lord. So in inner self-victory, when COVID nearly took my life, it's a situation that I don't want to relive. It's something that I do not want anybody to go through. And I thank God that I'm still here. I thank God that I'm still here doing music, being a husband to my wife, being a father to my kids, Kiki and Andre. They still have their dead because of the glory of the Lord. He gave us victory. So yeah, that's the situation that I'm very much grateful for.
Awesome. Wow, that is a deep testimony, and we thank the Lord for preserving your life, because you are now continuing to do his work, and we're grateful. Thank you so much for sharing that powerful testimony, Leon.
Thank you.
And with that, we have come to the end of today's episode. You have heard such powerful words. Make sure that you're living right. Jesus is coming soon. Or even tomorrow, you just might lose your life. But where do you stand? with your walk with the Lord. Be sure to check yourself. Repenting, asking for forgiveness. God is faithful to forgive you and welcome you into his arms. And with that, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Features by TaffyRue, and until next time.